يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين رحمة للعالمين أبي القاسم محمد والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد والفرقان الحميد قوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنما وليكم الله ورسوله وللمؤمنين الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. صلوات بر محمد. My dear brothers and sisters in Iman, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To make salam is sunnah. To reply the salam is wajib. You get 1 reward for making the salam. You get 10 rewards for replying it. My first request is those children who are outside, and I was told that it was not reported that they could be going out onto the street. Please bring them here. Let them come here, let them talk here, let them walk around here. They're not going to disturb me. I would rather them having come in here so that they are safe in this sanctuary under the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by the guidance of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, that they will be here. They will get that energy, that spiritual energy that is floating around here. So bring them inside. Let them talk. Only I request the elders not to talk, so that if the children will see the elders are quiet, they will remain quiet. For that, please give me 1 salawat, please. The subject that we have been going on is insan to understand himself. It is not easy to do that, but it is possible. And each one of us can go forward and understand it slowly, gradually. But we can surely reach there. We can only do that if we understand how worthy we are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we do not understand that, then we have no value. We will be judged by others. It is when they judge us, they say, oh, that guy is good, so we'll judge him as good because somebody said so. Or that guy is not good, so we'll judge him as not being good because somebody said so. But we are all good. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking pride in our creation. Then how can we behave like animals? If we have been created ahsan taqweem, لقد خلقنا الإنسان fi ahsani taqwim. If Allah has created me in that supreme format, how can I behave like an animal? What is it that makes me behave like that? So tonight, inshallah, we will try and get slowly to our destination and be able to understand this insan that we invoke the salawat for every time we hear that name Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There is that blessing, there is that nur that comes down from the heavens because of this insan who is insan kamil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the holy book, he says, in kuntum tuhibbuna Allah fattabi'uni yuhibbukum Allah wa yaghfir lakum dhunubakum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that if you love me, obey him. In kuntum tuhibbuna Allah fattabi'uni, obey me. And if you obey me, that means not me, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Please.
Okay, you meet with Amir, with the Pharisee, please. Sisters, the older sisters are talking more than the younger ones. We can't even hear here. So please, this is Muharram. Maulana is talking, we have to gain from him and from his things. So I ask all of you, please don't speak as much as you can, because the sisters who wants to speak, there are 2 rooms inside. Go inside, please. And kids here, you sitting down, hey, here, I'm talking to you. You do not talk, turn around and no speaking. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. That was very scary, wasn't it? That was very scary, wasn't it? Yes, it was. I was scared too. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We have such elders who care for us. They want us to be educated. They want us to rise above our low desires. One of them is when I was listening to Ziyarate Ashura, I was listening more to the noise than to the ziyarah. And when we went into the sajda, we said, Allahumma rzuqni shafa'at al-Husayn. Oh Allah, descend upon me the shafa of Hussein. This shifa of Hussein will only come to me if I know Hussein. So let us start from the beginning. Tonight I will talk about wilaya. But before I go to Aba Abdullah, we'll start with that ayah that I had the honor to recite in front of you in this sanctuary, which for me is a wonderful place to see these wonderful people here listening to me, who is a student I'm not a scholar. I don't pretend to be a scholar. I am a student. I want to learn with you. And whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspires me, that I share with you, as he said in Surah Shams, He has created the nafs, and then فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. He has put ilham. The word ilham is for you all. It is an inspiration by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is good and what is bad. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. And then he goes on and said, قَدْ أَفْلَهَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. I will not go to the other one, later on we'll go on that. قَدْ أَفْلَهَ. The one who has been successful is the one who has purified himself. Allahumma rzuqni shafa'at al-Hussein is a purification. If we understand the concept and the philosophy of that purification, then we will be able to go on that ark, on that safina, which is Safinatul Najat. Hussein is Safinatul Najat. If I want to go on that safina, then I have to know and understand who is Hussein. Therefore, we have this ayah of the Quran. Innama waliyukumullah. Salawat bar Muhammad. Innama waliyukum Allah. Indeed, your wali is Allah, wa Rasul, and the Prophet, and wal mu'minin, and the believers. Who are these believers? Alladhina yuqimuna as-salata wa yutuna az-zakata wa hum raki'un. Every one of us know that this ayah wafi hidayah is directly addressing none other than Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi salamu alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So the wilayah of Allah is dominant upon me, and that wilayah is only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can tell me, don't eat when I tell you not to in the month of Ramadan, right? We can eat, but in the month of Ramadan, Allah says, don't eat. Nobody else can tell me that. That is the kind of authority that Allah has. I'm giving you only one example so that we can continue going forward. But then He has chosen designated individuals to be able to process other authorities, other laws, other qawaneen, for us to be able to live harmoniously in brotherhood, with love, affection, ukhuwa, mawadda. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was chosen for that. And we know that this Prophet was the seal of the Prophet, and he said that there will be no Prophet after me. But that he told Amir al-Mu'mineen that your place, your position to me is like that of Harun to Musa, except that there is no nubuwa after me. There is no risala after me. You all know that. However, the wilaya is being now carried forward by Amir al-Mu'minin, and then it is perpetuated within the 12 Imams, from Amir al-Mu'minin to Imam Sahib al-Zaman Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So there is an authority that Allah has bestowed on Prophet Muhammad. On the day of Ghadir, the Prophet stood up and said, do not I have more authority on you than you have on your own selves? Alastu awla min al-mu'minina min anfusihim. That is the ayah of the Quran, Sheikh. Yes? And he said the same words to those thousands and hundreds of thousands who were there in Ghadir. And they all said yes. That authority has also been stepped down from Amir al-Mu'mineen, from Prophet to Amir al-Mu'mineen, to Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. And that is why we ask for Shafa'ah from Imam Hussein. But Imam Hussein has more authority on me than I have on myself. Am I prepared to accept that? Am I prepared to follow it? Am I prepared to submit to it? If I am, good, then I should do it. How come I don't do it? How come we don't do it? Tonight we will speak and we'll talk about some individuals in Karbala, and you will see how they knew the wilaya of Abu Abdullah. You and I, we lack it. If we had it, we would not be the way we are. Our desires overcome us, whereas Abu Abdullah overcomes the desires. How can it be so contrary? Why can I not overcome my desires? I'm saying I want shafa from Abu Abdullah. Abu Abdullah will not give me shafa if I do not follow the seerah of Abu Abdullah. Let us start from the beginning. Let me introduce who is Hussein. Hussein is the son of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib and Fatima al-Zahra salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'in. He was born on the 3rd of Sha'ban. In which year? Anybody? Which year? Anybody? Which year? See? This is much we know. If we knew, now let us go back. In the year 61, he was 58. So if you go back and calculate quickly, you'll see where it was. It was either on the 5th or the 6th of Hijrah, right? See, this is how much we know the date of the birth of Hussein that we want Shifa from. Let's go forward. He is the grandson of the Prophet. When he was born and he was given to the Prophet, he looked at him and he cried. A newly born child, and you are crying. You should be celebrating the way we celebrate. He was asked and he said, just now I was told through Jibrail that this grandson of mine is going to be massacred 3 days, thirsty and hungry on the plains of Karbala. I'm introducing to you Hussein ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib when he was born. So now you know who he is. Do we love him? Do we love him? Because the Prophet said, Husainu minni wa ana min al-Husain. Hussein is from me. If Hussein is from Muhammad alayhi salam, then do I love Muhammad? Of course. If I don't love Muhammad, I cannot be a Muslim. Because I'm saying, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. If I don't testify these two things without loving Allah, without loving Prophet Muhammad, then that testimony is useless. It has no value. You agree with me? Yes? Are you with me? From 1 to 10, how much do you agree with me? 10? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, Hussein ibn Ali is like the Prophet and we love him. If you really love him, then you will obey him. And if you obey him, you will follow him. Okay, we will obey him because he told us through all the history that we should love Allah, that we should love the Prophet, that we should pray like the way Prophet did, and we should fast the way Prophet fasted, and we should behave with our family the way Prophet behaved with his family. And when publicly, when the Prophet is asked, whom do you love? And he mentions, I love my wife. This is the kind of social structure that the Prophet has established for us to love one another, one spouse, loving another spouse. Because if they don't, and if there is a strife in the house, and the children are watching, and they don't know what to do, whether to go with the mother or to go with the father, remember, Janab Sayyida Fatima Zahra and Ali ibn Abi Talib. How did they work in their mutual spousal relationship? If we do not follow the way they did, then something is wrong with us. That means we haven't reached that insaniya that they were already there. So let's go back to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. How did he behave with his wives? In Karbala, we are all told how loving he was to his wives, how loving he was to his sisters, how loving he was to his children, how loving he was to his companions, how loving he was to the brothers and the sisters and the children of the companions, that he said, by God, I have the best companions with me that no one else had in their lives. This is Hussein bin Ali. So I obey him. I follow him. Why I follow him? I come during this majalis. I cry for him because I love him. Would you cry for somebody whom you do not love? Would there be tears coming out from your eyes if you do not love? You must be loving, right? Or these tears are fake. Decide. Are these tears fake? Am I just pretending? Am I just showing that I am in grief? I have to answer this. The Shafa of Hussein will come Yawmul Wurud. It will not come from when I die to that Yawmul Wurud. I need help in that period of Barzakh. If I do not follow the footsteps of Aba Abdullah, then I don't love him. Then I'm not obedient to him. Then I do not know him. I pretend. Why am I pretending? What for? There are more important things to do in life than coming here. But we are coming here because this is the most important thing in my life. This azadari keeps me alive. This azadari makes me into an insan. It takes me out from being an animal or being a stone into something that Allah wants me to be to Him. Am I faking it? Last night I said you can see me as very well dressed. I speak eloquently. I am a little bit intelligent. I can speak some verses of the Quran and this and that and the other. And then I leave everything here and I go home and I'm a different person altogether. Because when I'm there at home, my child is asking me, what's wrong with this guy? What's wrong with him? He was so nice there. And he comes home and he misbehaves with my mother. Give me someone salawat, please. Now I know that you are listening to me. Another one salawat, please. Why this double standard? We are supposed to take that flag which says, Ya Hussein, out there and be with it and live with it and die with it. Allahumma mahya mamati lil ala mamati ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad wa hayati hayata Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. My life and my death has to be in conformity with Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. Is it? So I'm going to give you an example today. We think we are inferior. Have you seen a plant? There's a plant, right? A plant, you put a seed in the pot, and then something shoots out, and then after the shooting out, the leaves, and then you have a flower. We still think that we are that seed in that soil. In that soil, there is nothing but darkness. There are bugs. There is bacteria there. A lot of unpleasant things are there. And for me, my limitation of my mind and my intellect is that I am just that seed. And the bugs will come and say, hi, I am your friend here. Okay, because I don't know anything else. It's darkness there. It's damp there. And I think that I'm only that seed. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me from that seed which developed into roots and a seedling to come out with flowers. I hear that there is some discussion going on among the ladies' side. I can understand that. So please give me one salawat from the ladies' side, please. Please listen to this. It is very important. All of you have got some sort of pots with flowers in your houses. That seed germinates, but the seed does not know that it is going to germinate. And I think that I'm going to be stagnant there for the rest of my life, and I'm going to be engulfed with this operation of the darkness, of the dampness, of the soil and the bugs. And likewise, I feel the same, that I am living in this world with all these things around me suffocating me. I should come out of that to understand that I can become a beautiful flower. And when I understand that I will become a beautiful flower, then that bug and that insect who came near me when I was a seed will come to me when I'm a seed. I will say, get away from me. I'm going to be a flower. Can't you see? Allah has created me in the best format. I am beyond, I am above my desires. I have to leave them. I have to outgrow them and go out there. Every time in your houses you see your plants, remember this. And I will remember too, that I can become a flower, a beautiful flower, which everyone loves. The only way I can be that, to be able to understand, is to follow the seerah of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi afzalu salatu wassalam. Otherwise, let us not waste our time. I haven't come here to waste my time. You haven't come here to waste your time. This is the only university where salvation is guaranteed. I'm telling you, salvation is guaranteed in this sanctuary. I have to be worthy of it. I have to be a flower of it, not that seed. Do I make any sense? Do I make sense? I make sense? Thank you. Salawat, please. So we went from Allah's wilaya to Prophet's wilaya to Amir al-Mu'minin's wilaya, and we come to Aba Abdullah, and now we are in Karbala. And we see how that wilaya is being understood by those who have become flowers, not by those who are still seeds. Who is that seed? Umar ibn Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, the commander-in-chief of Yazid's army, is still a seed. Abu Abdullah is sitting with Umar and says, Ya Umar, why you are doing this? There's nothing in it for you. He said, Yabna Rasulillah, Yabna Rasulillah, I know to kill you is going to take me to hell. But my farm that is waiting for me in Ray is Qurrata Ayun. It is the beauty of my eyes. I have been promised the governorship of Rai. He's still a seed. An insect is telling the bug is telling the seed, the bug is Yazid, is telling Omar ibn Saad, I'll give you that. Abu Abdullah is telling him, I'll give you double than that. Come with me. I'll give you whatever you want. He said, you know what, Ibn Rasulullah? I can't see that. I see Rai. I see Yazid. Can you see that seed which is rotting in there, because that seed cannot comprehend, cannot visualize that that seed can germinate into a beautiful flower. Example? Makes sense? On the other hand, we have Hur. We talked about Hur, right? Hur was a captain of 1,000 soldiers on horses, a powerful man. Nobody can defeat him. He is there, and he is the cause of bringing Abu Abdullah to that place which is called Karbala. Until that time, and until the night of Ashura, Hur was a seed. And suddenly, that light. Yesterday I said, Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu yukhrijuhum minaz zulumat. Ahsant. So Hur is in that kashmakash, minaz zulumat ila nur. It's very simple to understand this. It doesn't require a rocket scientist to understand this. He says, I am a seed, and I see hell, and I see the flower in heaven. Huh? It's that easy. Ya Allah, when will I get that light the way Hur got that light? When? I need it. We need it. Because we are going through a life, a society where we are engulfed with all these badness and evil and atrocities that we are confused. I need that light. I need to understand that I am not a seed anymore, that I can become a flower. Only Hur can teach me that. And he comes out and comes to Abu Abdullah. And you know the whole story. It's beautiful, isn't it? That's what Karbala is. Karbala is a lesson. Karbala is a university. Karbala is a reformation. Karbala is a redemption. Karbala is a salvation. Karbala is Safinatun Najat. If we do not know that, then all our crying, all our latmia, all our noha, all my speeches are in vain. It will not help me at all. I got to put my foot down and say, from now onwards, I know that I am not a seed anymore. I am going to become a beautiful flower. And when that happens, I will recall our seventh Imam, when that seductive woman comes to him and says, I am here for you. He says, what is that in you that I need? I don't need it. I had stopped up to there. But remember that the same seductive woman was still a seed when she came in front of our seventh Imam, and when she left, she became a blooming flower because she left her seduction and became a mu'mina. You can do that for others and for yourself. You know why? These children who are listening to me, the girls and the boys, they are our salvation. They are not our problem. They are a facility that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made for us, that we go on that bridge as flowers, so that story of the Prophet who, when he said to his companions that there will be those people there, then they will understand what I am talking about. And they are my brothers. You and I, my dear sisters, you will be the sisters of the Prophet if we go all together and cross that bridge and become that flower, so that we leave all the dirt, all the ego, all the enemy to animosity, all the jealousy, all the hatred. We will rise with forgiveness when Hur comes to Abu Abdullah and says, how will you forgive me? I have come here. I am the one who is responsible for bringing you here and for this massacre. Abu Abdullah is saying to him, you know what? He says to him, when you came to me first time, I had water to give you. I don't have water to give you. But come in my abaya, I will cover you in this heat. Reminds me the heat that we are going through here. The heat. Abu Abdullah is taking his abaya and covering her. Do I have that forgiveness? Can I forgive my wife? Can my wife forgive me? Can I forgive my brothers and my sisters and my children who are the leaders of tomorrow, who will teach me what I don't know, because they know more. Remember yesterday I told you about a man, he's sitting with his son and he's saying, his son, it's now time for us to talk. And the son is replying him and saying, what? What would you like to know? That I said yesterday. So tonight we are going to talk about two boys who know the wilayah of Abu Abdullah, 8 years and 9-year-old. Who is 8-year-old here? 9-year-old. Children, raise your hands. 9 years? 8 years? See? There were two children like you in Karbala. They were the children of Bibi Zainab. Their names were On and Muhammad. On the day of Ashura, where all the companions of the Prophet had already given their lives, now it is the time for the Banu Hashim to come out. And the night before, when Abu Abdullah was going to all the tents, and he hears in the tent of Kulthum saying that, Abbas, you will tomorrow go and fight for Abu Abdullah, and goes into the tent of Layla, and Layla is telling Ali Akbar, tomorrow you will fight for your father. And she goes to the tent of Farwa, and Farwa is telling Qasim, you will fight for your uncle tomorrow, and to Rabab, and to all this Banu Hashim, and everyone is telling their children, tomorrow you will fight for Abu Abdullah, because they know the wilayah of Abu Abdullah, they know the tariqah of Abu Abdullah, they know that they have to follow the seerah of Abu Abdullah. Why? Because Abu Abdullah is the Safinatul Najat. So Bibi Zainab is bringing her two sons to Abu Abdullah and ask Abu Abdullah, what is the best gift to give to Allah? And Abu Abdullah is saying to Zainab, the best gift is sadaqah. The best gift is sadaqah. Bibi Zainab is telling his brother, my darling brother, this is my sadaqah for you. What can Hussein do? What can he do when he looks at these two boys, such young boys, that if you give them a sword, the sword would drag on the sand. They were trained by Abul Fadl. They were put on the horses. The armor was put on them. They were being told by Abul Fadl, you go on the right flank, you go on the left flank, you fight this way, you fight that way. And they were fighting valiantly, 8 and 9 years. You know why they had that courage? Boys, my children, do you know why On and Muhammad had that kind of courage? Do you know why they had that kind of stamina? Why they had that kind of valor? Is because they knew who Hussein is and how they should give their life for Hussein. They fight. People are scared. The army of Yazid is scared of two young boys. They reach up to the tent of that Umar Sa'ad La'natullah alayh. He comes out and said, what are you running away from? These are the lions of Banu Hashim. You can't fight them like that. You have to surround them. Can you imagine an army surrounding two boys? What will happen to those two boys? And arrows are shooting from everywhere. Spears are shooting from everywhere. These two boys cannot hold themselves on the horses anymore. They come down and they say, Assalamu alayka ya ummah adrikni. Oh, our uncle, our salams to you. Come and help me. Abul Fadl, Hussein, they go out into the battlefield like two hawks and reach to On and Muhammad. They are already gone. They are lifeless. Abul Fazl takes one, Hussein takes another. They bring them back. They put them in the tent of Zainab. And Zainab is there watching. The brother is telling the sister, I brought back your children. Bibi is looking at these beautiful boys, dead bodies, raises her hands and says, Oh Allah, thank you for accepting this sadaqah. And that's all that Zainab does and never remembers them. Now they are in Sham. They are being released from the prison. They desire to stay in Sham for a few days. They get all the amanat to them. They get the heads of all the shuhada. And everyone is taking the head of their beloved ones. Kulsum is taking Abbas's. Layla is taking Ali Akbar's. And Rabab is taking Ali Asghar. and Farwa is taking Qasim. And in the tray, there are two heads. So one of the ladies of Sham is whispering to another one, looks like these boys are orphans. There is no woman, there is no mother for them. Can you imagine Zainab is listening to this? She is quiet until she reaches Medina. She goes into her house. She sits in the house. Her husband comes. He sees that there is a strange woman sitting in his house. He is asking, what are you, lady? Man amatillah? Who are you? Zainab turns around and says, Yabna you cannot even recognize me. I am your wife, Zainab. Abdullah goes in. He says, Zainab says, sit with me. I look into the room where On and Muhammad were sleeping. I see the two beds. Oh, Abdullah, I haven't cried for On. I haven't cried for Muhammad. Help me, cry with me, so that I can take the huzn from my chest for my children and your children. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, give us the light so we recognize the wilayah of Abu Abdullah and be able to sacrifice our life, our children, our everything for Abu Abdullah. Ya Allah, give us that light so we can recognize the ark of salvation. Matame Hussein, Ya 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 Hussein.